back to our indoor Veterans Day Assembly. It feels so awesome to be back together as an entire school family to honor and thank all veterans who have served in all branches of the military to ensure our freedom in the United States of America. I'd now like to call upon 3 students who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today. Grade 3 student Alex, grade 5 student Reagan, and grade 6 student Chase.
Please rise for the saying of the Pledge of Allegiance. I think I did that one. Okay. You hold it. Okay. Do you want to hold it? No. Okay. All right. 3 count us down. All right. 3, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the Star of Spangled Banner, played by Advanced Band and directed by Mrs. Kristen Usual.
This morning, I will begin our assembly by sharing a poem written by Susan R. Smith titled, "We Honor You Today." This was from Family Friend Poems in May of 2017. To all our veterans, far and near, we thank you for your service for all those years. You sacrificed your time and you gave your life. You preserved our freedom by willingly paying the price. Many of you were sent overseas. You were wounded in battle with scars and disease. But courageous and brave, you weathered the storm. You faced every battle with faith and beyond. We honor you with joy for all that you've done. You stood strong for our country, for our daughters and our sons. So no one stands alone. We walk hand in hand. Remember, we are with you. Together we shall stand. We salute you today. Hear what we say. Let our words speak eloquently in this special way. On this day, let us express our love and thanks for the sacrifice you paid. You served in honor for many years and days, and we will never forget how strong and brave you were. This morning, I'd like to share some important facts with our school and who our school is named after and why we honor them. Our school is named after 2 very important people, Mr. Alvin J. Freeman and Sergeant Adam P. Kennedy. Mr. Alvin J. Freeman served on the Norfolk School Committee for 33 years. He exemplified dedication and commitment to shape our schools, making sure children always come first. Today, I'd like everyone to know a little bit more about Sergeant Adam Kennedy. Sergeant Adam Kennedy attended the Freeman Centennial School here in Norfolk, Massachusetts, as a student. After graduating from college, Adam went to training for the United States Army. During his training, Adam received honors in physical fitness and marksmanship. He had many attributes during his time in the Army. Adam exemplified honor, courage, determination, and leadership skills while serving in the Army. This led to his success as he served on his Collins Colonel Personal Security Detail. Unfortunately, Adam was killed on April 8, 2007, after being hit by an IED in Iraq. The Freeman Kennedy School was named in his honor. Sergeant Adam Kennedy's picture and uniform is displayed on the walls of our school, right outside these doors. Outside of a school, we have a memorial for Sergeant Adam Kennedy. The next time you walk by Adam, pause and say thank you for the sacrifice he made in order for us to live freely. Adam is a hero, and so is every veteran in the United States of America. This morning, I'd like to thank all of our veterans in the audience for their service. Tomorrow, on Veterans Day, when you are home, remember to take a few minutes to pause and say thank you to all our veterans. They are brave, loyal, dedicated to ensuring our freedom in the United States of America. I'll conclude my Veterans Day message this morning by this quote written by John Fitzgerald Kennedy. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. I'd like to call upon Mr. Jim Lehan, the former Norfolk Selectman, to give us a speech this morning. Thank you, Mr. Lehan.
Good morning. It's always a privilege to be here, and thank you very much to the administration for inviting me. It's a thrill, and as I say, a privilege to have the opportunity to share a few words with you. I do want to say thank you to the wonderful people that wore the uniform to serve in this great country. We appreciate it. We are grateful, and you indeed are our heroes. We are very grateful for your service. I also want to thank the teachers and staff. What a wonderful job, what an incredible job you do with our students here in Norfolk. You've had 4 of my children, and you have 7 of my grandchildren. That's a lot to handle. But you, too, are our heroes. Thank you for all that you do for our kids. We all have seen veterans everywhere we go. You see a gentleman here today in uniform. They're easy to spot. Most of them have uniforms on, so they're recognizable. But the truth is, they're everywhere. They're all around you. Everywhere you go, there's a veteran. Everywhere. The reality is that every veteran shares a common bond. Veterans choose to serve this great nation. No one forces them to. They're never asked to. They come of their own free will. They have done this for generations. Men and women in their prime serve this country in great spirit. And all of them take an oath, and I'm sure that all of you will remember this, because it's a lifelong bond that we never forget. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely and without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. I think they would all agree that that oath stays with us our entire lives. As you begin life's journey, there will be events that you will experience, places you will go, places you will see, things that will happen. And those events will linger with you for your entire life. You will remember them, and they will leave with you an understanding of what veterans are and what they mean to this great nation. For me, there have been many in my life, but I want to tell you about 4 that have stood out to me. First is, I've had the great pleasure and privilege to stand on the USS Arizona, a ship that was destroyed by the Japanese Navy, in World War II. 1,000 sailors died on that ship that day. An incredibly moving moment for me. The second is I've had the opportunity to go to Normandy, France, and walk on Omaha and Utah Beach. I did so in the evening when there was no one else on that beach. 4,000 young men died on those beaches in 15 minutes. They were there to create an opportunity for the French to be free. They were there to help people to be free. The third is Gettysburg, a cow field, where two armies, both from the United States, fought each other. Thousands of young men died. But that battle began the healing of this great nation and started to forge us together as one nation, to work together, to respect each other and honor each other's differences. The fourth is very dear to me. I've been to Washington, D.C., to the Vietnam Wall, a memorial that is there to recognize the 50-some-odd thousand young men and women that passed away in that war. Very, very dear moment for me. You too will have those experiences in your life. You will have opportunities to see events, you will have opportunities to see memorials such as this that will stay with you. And it will reinforce the meaning of what it is to serve. If you were to pick one word that describes veterans, what do you think it might be? Might be? Yes. Kind. Oh, what a wonderful word. What else? Yes. Brave. Brave? Anyone? Yell it out. All good words. I heard hero in there as well. All wonderful words. But I would suggest if you ask these folks how they feel about the word hero, they would tell you they're not heroes. They're ordinary people that did extraordinary things. I would suspect they might use the word serve, because that's what a veteran does. He serves. Each generation has an obligation to continue that memory, that opportunity for us to serve. The commander of the Navy SEALs told the graduating class at the University of Texas the following: "Life is not always fair, and there will be times that you will fail. But if you try harder, stand up for what is right, face down the bullies, and lift up those in need, respect everyone, find someone to help you through life, you can change the world. Do not judge someone by the size of their body, judge them by the size of their heart." Each of you have the opportunity to serve, whether you wear a uniform or not. Each of us can find a way to help someone, to be kind to someone, give someone a smile on a day when they need a smile, maybe a hug when they need a hug. Tell someone thank you if they do something kind for you. These small gestures have great weight, and they pay a huge respect to those that have served this great nation to allow us the freedoms that we so enjoy. These freedoms are very fragile, and it is our generation and soon your generation that will be charged with the responsibility of protecting them. And we must do so with vigor and dedication. To serve. You can serve. That's how you can honor these folks that are here today and all of the veterans that have served this great nation. It has been a privilege to be here today and to say a few words to you. And it's a special privilege to be in a school that's named after Adam Kennedy, a young man who in the prime of his life went off to a very far land and sacrificed his life so that you and I can continue to have the freedoms that we have. Thank you very much for letting me speak to you this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Lehan. I'd now like to call upon our sixth grade students to please stand and face our veterans. Our grade 6 students are going to recite a poem called "The Pride of Our Country" by Roger Robichaud.
The Pride of Our Country by Roger Robichaud.
Just as our brave from each war gone by, they march first proudly, flag held high. From all over this land they come to serve, they're taught by these brave must have is support from their home, the love from their people, from their thankfulness shown. Our greatest achievement is that we're still free. Please stand and honor who caused us to be.
Awesome job, grade 6 students and teachers. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to call everybody's attention to our large screen in the gymnasium. And our grade 5 students recorded a poem titled "Because of You, Old Glory Flies," poems of gratitude for our U.S. military and veterans, written by Julia Ducker.
Not too young. Too young to join the army, too young to go to war, but not too young to understand where what you fought for. For us, you left your families to see that we'd be free. For us, you obeyed orders to preserve our liberty. No, please, no, we're grateful to you. We are in debt. We want nothing but to honor you. So glad our paths have met. For you we sing our hearts out and thank our God above. We may not even know your names. Still, we give you all our love.
Old Glory flies high today. Let us be the first to say, welcome home to American soil. You've kept Old Glory flying, that mission, never small toil. We've dreamed of it, we'll relive it too. Right now, stand here seeing our brave loved ones home, a moment in time held dear. We saw you off and placed you in God's almighty hands, praying if it was His will, He'd bring you home again. With humble hearts we bow our heads and thank our God above, for going along on the mission, for returning those we love. For the lost, the wounded, the debt we could never repay, but we seek for many as these words we'd say. We the people thank you for your sacrifices made. Our land remains free because you are brave. Old Glory flies high today.
Because of you, Old Glory flies. You say you're not a hero, are courageous to the core. The last full measures of devotion you are willing to give. So whether you serve in combat or not, a hero's life you live. You're larger than the big screen. Fictitious heroes battle there. You're real and brave. You're mortal. In human skin you dare to take on battles you may not win. Obey orders, follow the call. Scenes don't go as scripted. Undaunted, you stand tall. So let me call you hero, 'cause you are one in my eyes. The simple truth, because of you, freedom's mine. Oh, glory flies.
Bags are packed. Bags are packed, drills complete, departure's now at hand. It's time for us to see you off, to secure the freedoms of our land. It's not easy to see you go. Like you, we will be brave. Your calling is a high one, the stuff of which heroes are made. We pray you off, we place you in the mighty hands of God. He's walked each step so far with you. Will go every step you trod. Watch over them, dear Father. Keep them safe, we pray. Wrap your love around them until comes the day. Their operation is complete. On American soil they stand, and we wrap our arms around them with love from a grateful land.
Time will never fade. With loving care it's folded, with somber hearts it's laid, and your hands with gratitude that time will never fade. You grieve not alone, your country with you stands, while glories lapped in love, a free and mourning land. A prayer with the flag is given of thanks to our gracious God for the faithful service of his soldier who with every step he trod walked upright with honor, protecting the stars and stripes, and for you who supported his mission to put country above his life. With loving care it's folded, with somber hearts it's laid, into your hands with gratitude that time will never fade.
Saluting America's finest. Let us do the honors of saluting you today.
each one America's finest, sacrificial love on display. Through your dedication and valor, you've brought honor to life, shown courage in the face of terror, strength in the face of strife. Fly high on wings of freedom, you've defended for each of us. Fly high knowing you've made a difference, many Americans deeply touched. And then fly home to those you love, enjoy peaceful sleep tonight, worn out from the lengths to which we've gone to make you feel honored on this flight.
Incredible job, grade 5 students and teachers. Thank you very much for taking the time to record and recite all of those poems. And thank you to Mrs. Tusiri with helping with that task as well. Now I'd like to call your attention to our bleachers. Our 3rd grade students are going to sing Thank You Soldiers by Michael and Angela Soldiers, performed and directed by Miss Christine Musial. Awesome job, 3rd graders. You should be very proud. Thank you to Mrs. Musial and all the grade 3 teachers who helped the students perform this song. Thank you. I'd now like to call your attention to my right to the risers, where our Freeman Kennedy School Chorus will perform We Honor You by Roger Emerson, directed by Mrs. Christine Musial. Beautifully done, chorus and Mrs. Musial, thank you. At this point in the program, I would like you to call upon you to our screen again. I'll let everybody shift a little. As our audience can see, our teachers and our students are incredibly dedicated, and each part of our program today, each grade level has participated in part of the ceremony. So I just want to take a quick thank you to thank all of our teachers and students for all they do, because putting this all together takes a lot of time, effort, and I know they really appreciate and love this ceremony today. So grade 4 students did a comparison of understanding what the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day is.
Understanding the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. Veterans Day and Memorial Day are two holidays observed in the United States to honor our military servicemen and servicewomen. But these two holidays are often confused or misunderstood.
Memorial Day is a day observed to honor the memory of military personnel who died while in service of their country.
Memorial Day was first observed the year after the Civil War ended. Until 1971, the holiday was known as Decoration Day, in reference to spring flowers people used to decorate the graves of fallen soldiers.
In 1968, Congress established Memorial Day as the last Monday in May. On this day, many people participate in parades and ceremonies. They visit cemeteries and memorials, which are decorated with American flags to pay their respects. Some people wear poppies as a symbol of their lives lost in service.
Veterans Day is a federal holiday that is observed to honor the more than 19 million men and women who have served in the U.S. military.
On this day, we show appreciation for all those who have served in the U.S. Air Force, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard in times of war and for keeping us safe in times of peace.
Veterans Day was first observed on November 11, 1919 as Armistice Day in honor of the anniversary of the end of World War I. An armistice is an agreement between opposing sides to stop fighting. World War I officially ended at 11 a.m. November 11, 1918, when armistice with Germany went into effect.
The purpose of Armistice Day was to honor the fallen soldiers of World War I for their sacrifice and bravery. In 1945, World War II veteran Raymond Weeks came up with the idea that Armistice Day should be dedicated to all veterans rather than just those who died in World War I. On June 1, 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower officially changed the name of the holiday from Armistice Day to Veterans Day, a day to pay tribute to veterans of all wars.
It is important to thank those who have served or are serving in the military. On Veterans Day, it is especially important to take an extra moment to show military members gratitude for their service and sacrifice.
Thank you, veterans!
Awesome job, grade for students, teachers, and again, Mrs. Tuserio helped put that together. The next piece in our program is actually something different and new that I'd like to share with all of our guests, our staff, and our students. I'm going to talk a little bit about Wreaths Across America, which Ms. Altham Hickey will admit knew nothing about until last spring. This morning, I'd like to share some exciting news with our students, staff, veterans, parents, guardians, and the Norfolk community. Last spring, one of Adam Kennedy's best friends, Joseph Regan, sent me an email. He shared with me that they both attended Norwich University. Currently, Mr. Regan is the Director of Military and Veteran Outreach for Wreaths Across America. Mr. Regan shared the mission behind Wreaths Across America, which is to remember, honor, and teach. He wanted to make a stop in Norfolk to honor Adam and all of our veterans near and far. So on Wednesday, November 30th, 2022, Wreaths Across America mobile education exhibit will make a stop in Norfolk at Freeman Kennedy School. The mobile exhibit will be available to all school staff from 7 to 3 p.m. and then will open to the Norfolk community from 4 to 7 p.m. We will hold an assembly that morning for Freeman Kennedy staff, students, and invited guests. In addition, we will honor Adam Kennedy by laying a military wreath on Adam Kennedy's memorial in the front of our school. Wreaths Across America is a 501c3 nonprofit organization founded to continue and expand the annual wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery, begun in Maine by a businessman, Morel Worcester, in 1992. The organization's mission, Remember, Honor, and Teach, is carried out in part each year by coordinating wreath-laying ceremonies in December at Arlington National Cemetery, as well as thousands of veteran cemeteries and locations in all 50 states and beyond. This year, the wreath-laying will take place on December 17th, 2022. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Norfolk Town Manager, Mr. Justin Casanova Davis, for partnering with us to bring this event to our school and the Norfolk community. I'd also like to thank Dr. Ingrid Alardi, Superintendent of the Norfolk Public Schools, the Norfolk Fire and Police Department, our Facilities Department, and the entire FK staff who spent many hours with me behind the scenes to make this meaningful event happen and special for everyone. I'd like to call everyone's attention back to the screen. I do have a short video of what the Wreaths Across America mobile exhibit's going to look like when it stops here at Freeman Kennedy School.
We're headed for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
People see us, they wave, they honk.
It is such a cool experience for a town to have this come.
I'm so excited. It's here, Wreaths Across America mobile education exhibit.
What is a mobile education exhibit? It's a 48-foot trailer designed to help us get in touch with the public about who and what Wreaths Across America is all about.
Remember, honoring, teaching. That's what we're doing today.
I didn't know until I showed up down here, and I was well educated by the gentleman inside.
Wreaths Across America started in 1992. We talk to people about remembering the fallen, honoring our veterans and our service members, and also teaching the youth of today what freedom means and what the sacrifices were for those freedoms.
Everybody needs to experience this. I think they should understand what we were fighting for.
You need to invite this to your town. Honor your veterans. You want to honor your community.
You never know who's going to walk through the door. I'd like to welcome you home, sir.
Oh, thank you. We have a veteran in every engagement that has happened, and they have sacrificed their lives and fortune for our freedom.
Thank you very much. It's always an honor when somebody walks up and says, congratulations or welcome back.
The reason we do anything is because of the sacrifice that they made for us. And we need to honor those veterans.
This mobile exhibit goes all around the country.
If you've got an idea for an event, reach out to us.
They will never be forgotten as long as we can continue this tradition. And this exhibit trains people up.
Everybody that came walked out in awe of what Wreaths Across America has done and continues to do.
Informational, educational, it was very nice. We really appreciated it.
I think it's really cool.
I completely agree with him. It's a great program. I can't say enough of it. I'm so excited that you guys came here.
Unbelievable. That's the only word I can think of. It's unbelievable what they're doing.
So we are very excited and honored to be able to actually welcome Wreaths Across America, as I said, on November 30th. All of our veterans that are in the audience today, we encourage you to come and visit, with your family between 4 and 7 on November 30th. All of our students will be able to walk through this educational mobile exhibit on the day of November 30th with their teachers as well. I'd like to now call upon Mr. Adam Tarzik, our assistant principal, who will have closing remarks for our assembly today.
Hey everybody, I'd like to start by thanking our honored guests, the tech staff, especially Mrs. Tusheri, who put numerous hours in creating the Veterans Video tribute and supporting classroom teachers with their Veterans Day projects involving technology integration. The custodial staff, Mrs. Musial and the chorus, Mr. Foraker and the advanced band, Mrs. Lois Oppenheimer for all the administrative assistant who work behind the scenes to invite guests, create today's program, our student performers, and our Freeman Kennedy staff and students in the audience. Today, my thoughts are with two of my former students, Callie and Grayson. Callie currently serves in the Army, and she's stationed in Tel Aviv. Grayson is in his 3rd year in the Naval Academy learning how to rescue people in triage underwater. And triage underwater is a really amazing, incredible thing that, I mean, I have trouble swimming underwater. I mean, it's incredible. They were not only my students, but later on they came as my senior helpers. So I was able to really get to know them as they made their transition to adulthood. And I witnessed firsthand the sacrifices that they made just for the opportunity to serve our country. They were both up at 5 a.m. running every morning. Whether it was summer, winter, snow, they were running. They took the most challenging courses that high school had to offer. They sacrificed weekends hanging with friends to study and to train. They did countless practice interviews to get the key recommendations they needed to attend school at West Point and at Annapolis. The summer after high school graduation, and let me tell you something, guys, you're going to blink and you're going to be seniors in high school. And that summer after high school graduation, it's like the time to say goodbye and the time to move on. They didn't get that opportunity. They didn't get those trips to the beaches. They didn't get those barbecues. They had to go to pre-basic training where they showed up and they took their cell phones and said there's no contact for 3 weeks. This is just before they even started their official start at the schools. And again, this was all before they officially started their service. It's amazing to think about the personal sacrifices that our men and women put into service. Their ability to run into danger, to put everything on the line is one of the greatest and most noble feats. It's important that we continue to honor and give thanks to those that served, not just tomorrow, but every day. We are going to close today's ceremony with the playing of taps, performed by Jeffrey and Anna. Its origins in America trace back to a signal for soldier to turn out the lights and go to sleep. Today it is played to honor soldiers that have passed on. We ask that you not applaud at the end of taps, but rather take a deep breath and quietly walk back with your teacher to your classrooms, being mindful of those that served and that did not make it back to their families. So I ask right now if everyone can please stand. And if we can have your attention quiet up front so we can hear the playing of taps.